Zappos alongside Cougar head coach Nick Rolovich. Here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
It's that time of the week, and it's great to be with you. We are here talking ball with Coach Rolovich on a big ball game here. And, Coach, this is one of those gorgeous fall Palouse days. This is one of those fall days that really makes football here on the Palouse special. You've got the foliage out. You got, 50 degrees in the sun. It's supposed to be that way at kick. There's nothing like it here on the Palouse. Fall football, homecoming, 1 o'clock kick. It's going to be a great Saturday.
Yeah. And I love the energy you just came with. That's the way to start the show off.
I'll try to duplicate that each week.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, good. I'll try to bring it. I'll try to keep bringing it. How've the guys been after the win from the big win here on the road in Berkeley? First win at Berkeley since 2013. Not an easy place to play. You guys hold them to 6 points, get the win 21-6. How's practice been this week?
Oh, good. The kids, they felt really good. It was, it's been seems like a longer road than maybe it is, but to get that win, for a 2-3 football team, I don't know that I've been around a win that meant so much to the guys afterwards. And, it really showed that their commitment to each other. It was just a very good moment to see them have some enjoyment after, a few tough ones.
Had great validation for their efforts with a 21-6 win. I mean, they were right there at Utah. It was that 13-10 score for a while. And they had a tough one in the opener against Utah State. But now you get onto the winning side of things in the pack, and it feels like you're really into the season now. Not that you weren't before you were in it, but now you're on the winning side, and you've got a chance to get to 500 here against a good Beaver team.
A really good Beaver team. And I think we're playing better football, which is in all three phases, which is a good place to be. Beavers are really, really a strong team, not a weakness, whether it's a position group or a side of the ball. I think they're very consistent, effective and efficient offensively, with an element of trickeration and formational personnel confusions. I think they really know their identity, which is a credit to Coach Smith and his staff and the players that, they've been through some tough times too. And they kept grinding and gotten themselves to a good place in conference. Defensively, I think they're sound. They are not out of place. I think there's some confidence in the back end, in coverage. They like playing with each other. And I think Coach Cook does some, I guess creative is the way to do it, but, or way to say it, stuff on special teams. They don't coach or play in fear. So it'll be a good challenge, and it's a good time for that test for us.
You mentioned some of the trick play options that they feature. How do you pick and choose, or how do you know what to prepare for when it's, by definition, unexpected as a trick play? Like, some coaches sometimes will run some stuff just for looks to take time, like to take practice time from other guys, which is if all things are going well, that's great if you can get it in there and run some stuff that takes time, that forces teams to prep. But how do you thread that needle of, you don't want to waste practice time because it's so precious, but also you want to be prepared for what's to come?
Oh, I think you can show them the elements of trickeration on film. You obviously cannot practice every one of those plays, but what you hope that does is alert some awareness to maybe a new formation, maybe something triggers an alert in your head defensively. That's where I think you can really get into the mindset of the defensive side of the ball and special teams. Just the awareness and the alertness to be ready for it and know that they are not scared to try some plays that are a little bit different sometimes.
And they've got some other tools in the toolkit too. A really unique two-way player, Jack Coletto from Camas, actually. He's the first player since 2004 to intercept a ball and rush a touchdown in the same game. He did that against USC and backup.
Who did that in 2004? Who was the last person?
I'm glad you asked, Coach. It was Diamond Ferry at Syracuse University in 2004. He did it, and he did it, I believe, against Boston College in a game that Syracuse won.
Nice job, Chaz.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks, Coach.
preparation.
I appreciate
right
it.
there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's not common. Two-way players in general aren't super common, but
Right.
especially that productive and in that way. And Coleto's kind of a short down, running back almost. He's like they run the Wildcat with him, but he also is a linebacker. Their linebackers are really good, aren't they? Avery Roberts, Omar Spates, Anjay Hughes Murray. It's a really good linebacking core for the Beavers, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially the two guys in the box at the second level are, I think they've played this is their third year together at minimum, maybe more. And with a similar coaching staff, there's probably a comfort level that they have with each other in the scheme. That's a good place because I believe they're both going to come back for another year. I think they have another year. But there's not a lot of seniors, as I remember looking at their kind of their depth also.
Yeah, they're relatively young. You're right. They only have one senior on defense. Redshirt.
Where I think Oregon State did a really nice job is when the transfer market or transfer portal really started opening up and being a quarter school. I think they were able to, and even before the transfer portal, were able to get guys into school. Even if they had to redshirt, I think they did a nice job kind of in the roster ahead, and I think they're seeing some of the fruits of those decisions in this season.
Interesting. Yeah, they also, on the flip side of things, they've played. They have three quarterbacks, actually four, including Coleto, who have all started a game. Coleto started a game a few years ago, but Jebbia started against the Cougs last year. Chance Nolan's now the starter. Sam Neuer actually won the job out of fall camp. But what do you make of Chance Nolan? He's now 4-0 as the starter. He hasn't put up huge numbers. His completion percentage is really high. But what's their quarterback play been like?
Above average. He's very confident in the scheme. I don't think he tries to. He knows he's got some good pieces around him. He's seems to be very accurate in what they do as far as the run game and understanding what they want to do with that. There is some decisions at the line of scrimmage, it looks like. He's dangerous in off-script situations. And I think, he made one throw with anticipation on an over route. I don't know. I can't remember who that was against, but I thought, that was a really good throw for a touchdown on, I think, the first drive. The kid's making enough plays to really, scare you in a lot of different ways. So I think there's confidence in him, not only from the coaches, but just the way guys play. And one thing I do think is there's a real unselfishness from their team. A lot of people have roles. A lot of people, personnel groups, they know who they are, what they're trying to get done. Definitely, he's done a good job.
They have a wide receiver, Trayvon Bradford, who statistically leads them. He's top 20 all time in Beaver receiving history, but he doesn't have an overly large gap of receptions more than the second leading receiver on the team. He has 13 catches, and two of the other Beavers have 10 catches. They feature 9 wide receivers and 2 tight ends, so really 11 targets to throw the ball to, and they're all a little bit different. So when new guys come in, it kind of forces you to adjust, and does that put a little pressure mentally on Jihad or maybe whoever's back there at safety? Maybe it's George Hicks, whoever it might be, to figure out who's where and what they might run because of the personnel package.
It's an interesting question. I don't think that what it does is it really tells you, kind of like in the trick play question, you got to be alert for it. So they're not afraid of everyone contributing. So compared to when you see USC play, 15 is going to get 20 targets or 15 targets. They seem to spread the wealth around and shows they're not forcing it. They're trying to break down schemes, and whoever seems to be in the right place for the play will get the ball.
Yeah, it's been a really productive rush offense for him. We mentioned the wide receivers. Really should have mentioned B.J. Baylor. We're going deep on the Beavers here in this in this first segment. B.J. Baylor is the leading rusher in the pack right now, leading in rush attempts, leading in rush yards per game. He ran for 111 against the Huskies last game. He's been really productive for Oregon State. They lost Jamar Jefferson, and B.J. Baylor hasn't missed a step here, quite literally, for the Beavers.
No, really durable player. I don't know how many 8 to 12-yard runs, you kind of see throughout the season from him. 5's a good runner too, an even bigger guy who has some ability too. So they've got, and 21 he seems to have a real good amount of speed. So they've definitely got some weapons they can hand the ball to. I think it comes down to, the O-line is a big part of that. I don't know this for a fact, but I just think looking in film, they've had a good offseason physically. Seems like some players, they just look like they have a little more mass. And the O-line seems to work really well together.
Yeah, they've been really, really productive. Speaking of O-line, in about 20 minutes, we'll have two of our own here live at Zeppo's. Yeah, we'll have some of the big boys.
Have some French fries now.
We'll get him some. Yeah, that's a good.
Get him some French fries. Get him some water.
That's a good call. We'll get the fries in him. The Maake Fafita and Liam Ryan will join us here live up here on the stage. We're talking ball here with Coach Rolovich. We'll take our first break of the show as we're getting set for the Oregon State Beavers Pacific Northwest rival coming up.
We at Boeing are excited to celebrate with the fans and community at the annual Boeing Apple Cup Series. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of a classic rivalry in person again. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, Boeing sees the whole state of Washington as one united team because we go further together. Boeing, proud to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup Series and support our employees across Washington.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. For your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
This is the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
It's a new season. Get ready for more men's and women's college sports excellence. Trophies will be awarded in June to schools who take the top spot in the 2021-22 Learfield Directors Cup. The premier award recognizes one winning institution in all competitive divisions. Follow your favorite team's progress as seasonal standings are announced at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at directorscup.org. The crowning achievement in college athletics.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Oregon State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 73 critical scores of 90-plus points. Come visit us in our Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
Interact with the show. Tweet your questions for Coach to Matt Chazanow using the handle at @M_Chaz. That's M_CHAZ. Live from Zeppo's with Coach Rolovich. Here's Matt Chazanow.
Back at it live here at Zeppo's. We are talking ball with Coach Rolovich. Great to be with you here this week, this Thursday, for the Saturday 1 o'clock kick against Oregon State. Coach, we've got write-in questions for you, some of them football-related, some of them definitely not football-related. Let's start with a football one because that's what's on top here in my hand. What is your favorite offense besides the run and shoot?
Triple option.
Oh, the old triple op. Why is that?
I think it's very difficult and can cause cause some stress, makes people change who they are defensively. And I think if you have great ownership in it, it's very difficult to stop.
Yeah, that's not super common to find it, but really hard to scheme against, right? And maybe that's partly why, you just don't play against it that often.
Yeah, probably. And, I don't know that it necessarily is the most exciting offense to watch for spectators, but I think there's an effectiveness to it that people who are good at it are really good at it.
Yeah, we'll have to talk a little more triple option this show. Maake's brother played defense for triple option team.
That's right.
Air Force.
Maake can give us some input there.
Give us a little bit of a discussion about what it's like to defend that in practice every day. Okay, next write-in question here. We're going to bounce all around in no particular order.
I do really well bouncing around.
Okay, all right. Well, then let's bounce here. What's the best dipping sauce for chicken nuggets? Key question, important question.
Ketchup.
Yeah. As a kid, I always went honey. Isn't that a little weird? Honey or barbecue sauce?
Yeah, I don't think you should say that publicly.
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit. I'm a ketchup guy now. But it was a little weird. Okay, how far of a head start would you need to beat Coach Richardson in a 100-meter race? Straight away on a track.
I mean, here's who wrote that, because who knows that I even need a head start.
That's a good point. Coach is offended. Now, Rich Garasio just turned around. His head almost just came off his shoulders. So he may be the guilty party here. He says he's not, but you never really know. It's an anonymous question.
22 meters.
That's a pretty specific. That's a good number. Just a 22-meter start.
Yeah.
We'll have to follow up. I'll ask Rich about that, Coach Richardson about that.
Yeah,
next time I see him. What is the best flavor Gatorade?
Ooh, I like purple.
Purple, the old purple Gatorade. I don't know.
Yeah,
that sounds like maybe that's my least favorite one.
No, because you consume it.
Oh, I see. You kind of dominate it.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Oh, I see. All right. I can get behind that. What's the best show on Netflix?
Oh, I don't know.
You're not a Netflix guy?
I've been on Netflix in a long time.
Really?
Yeah. I liked, what was that, Yellowstone?
Well, yeah, I don't know if that was Netflix, though. I heard that was a good show. I didn't go there, but I want to go there.
Sorry, Netflix.
Yeah, that's okay. Who would win?
I'll take some suggestions. Send him the bill.
Yeah, Bill. We'll send Bill some suggestions for sure. Hey, who would win between a bear and a tiger?
Yeah, I think the venue is important to know here, and when you're having this conversation, are you in a blank room? You probably got to give it to the bear if it's got some obstacles or, maybe a tree or two or down low. I don't know. Tiger's pretty scary. I think gets behind him. I think Tiger could take it down, but in a prison cell, probably got to give it to the bear.
Yeah, maybe in a tight space there.
Right.
Goes bear. Hey, we'll talk more about this for sure with Liam, who's got a mask on that's appropriate for this question. But Dodgers in 5? ?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely not.
All right.
I'm glad they get to play, in the first postseason matchup between the two, but there's a reason why the Giants had their feet up yesterday watching, and the Dodgers had to work their way in. It's good hit. Good way to get. Good exciting game, but there's a reason the wild card was there.
Hey, I'm surprised just the way baseball goes and how many years we've done this, that this is the first time they've ever played in the postseason. And that kind of you'd have thought it would have happened before,
Well, I think, didn't they just I don't think there were many opportunities for them with the setup before.
With the way it was set up. Yeah, I guess not. Clearly not. Yeah. Well, we'll have to dive deeper into that one. Thanks to everybody for the write-in questions. Obviously, a lot on the line internally in the Cougar football complex for the upcoming baseball playoffs that start.
Well, Bobby the painter wears his Dodgers things today.
Yep.
And,
he's nodding his head.
It wasn't. You couldn't find any Dodger stuff a week ago when.
Complete fair weather fan. He doesn't even talk about him until they make the playoffs. You don't even know he's from the area. until then.
No.
Didn't
he hit a home run in college?
He did. He won't stop talking about it. Guy hit a homer in college, one homer.
Oh, I hear the story too. It's like
legend,
It's like a Kirk Gibson limp.
Yeah.
He had to limp all the way around.
Oh, yeah. They
one of those.
begged him to get into the batter's box.
Yeah.
Begged him. Key moment. Coach, I don't know. Fine, if you need me.
Fine.
And then, the whole thing.
Hold my glove.
Yeah, one leg out there. And then a towering shot. Just majestic.
Yeah.
Just a bomb.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, it's true. It's at least that's what he says all the time.
Yeah,
every time.
Bobby the painter.
No doubt. Hey, we'll take a break. Thanks for the write-in questions. In all seriousness, great to have the participation. We're live here talking ball with Coach Rolovich. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have our final segment with Coach Rolo, and then we'll talk to the O-lineman.
Business as usual is a thing of the past, but the entrepreneurial spirit keeps us closing in on our dream. That's why U.S. Bank makes sure solutions are a conversation away. So we can help you adapt and evolve your business, no matter what comes up. Because even in uncertainty, you can be certain we have your back. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
You're listening to the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
No matter how fast you are, you can't outrun your past. Don't miss Vin Diesel and John Cena in F9, The Fast Saga, now available at Redbox. The next chapter in the high-octane Fast and Furious franchise finds Dom Toretto living a quiet life off the grid, but knows danger always lurks just over the peaceful horizon. This time, that threat forces him to take his team on a worldwide ride with high-stakes action, old friends, and a surprising new foe, Dom's forsaken brother, Jacob. Watch F9, The Fast Saga, and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
The biggest schools.
Grabs in traffic, comes down with it. Touchdown! Touchdown, Alabama! Ohio State. Oregon. LSU.
The biggest moments.
Incomplete! You cannot hit the line! Michigan! Game over! Touchdown, Gators! How much?
This is the College Football Rewind.
That had to be a great game to watch. I'll tell you, unbelievable.
Download on Sunday mornings on Apple Podcasts. Search College Sports now. Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
You're live at Zeppo's Talking Ball as we've got ourselves the Oregon State Beavers coming up here to the Palouse. Earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. Coach, we have Rich Garasio back on headset here. This may need to become a weekly tradition. Yeah, it kind of is now, right? You win at Berkeley. Rich, got to throw the headset back on. Good to have you here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's just tradition now.
It may be. It may be. Coach, how much do you see Rich lift with the big guys, with Liam, or not lift with them?
No, I see Rich is in there early morning. He gets his work in early. I see him. Probably, what time you get in there, Rich? About 4:30?
Oh, you're before practice starts?
Yeah.
Oh, you're that early?
Yep.
Yeah, I just know in the middle of the day, you're going to get interrupted, things like that. So, gotta get in when you can.
What time do you wake up?
3:55, 4
You're
o'clock.
up at 3-something. That's a legendary play. You're up in the middle of the night, basically.
Yeah.
Coach, this guy is an animal. It's phenomenal.
Well, they say the 4 a.m. hour is the hour legends are made.
Wow, that is...
Either you're up early or up late.
I was going to say it works both ways that way, too. 4 is that ambiguous zone. We're on like a Saturday night, you might see it one way or the other, but that's not during football season, of course. Hey, Coach, what have we seen from the offensive line as we've got Rich here? What have we seen from the offensive line in their development this year for the Cougs? I mean, how have they been playing and how have they gotten
Rich,
better?
let's talk a little bit about some of their catapult numbers. What do we know? What are we noticing from their catapult numbers, practice to games?
So practice to games. The biggest thing that I'm seeing is they're able to flip that switch and in games. So with a catapult, you can even get contacts. So each contact that they get hit or whether they hit somebody, it measures on the catapult, actually.
So it measures. So to be clear here, you have data for essentially intensity of hit, like how hard a guy is hitting on contact.
Absolutely, yeah, exactly to the T. And so what you'll see is in practice, they're pretty moderate intensity. Obviously guys aren't going too crazy hard all the time. But then in games, you just see the number of really high intense impacts skyrocket.
Now, does it have to be like on the chest because that's where the piece of gear is, or like is it if their hands kind of block a guy on the shoulders, or is it a tackle? Like what?
No. So it's really anytime you put your hands on somebody, you're going to see a little bit of movement. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. So it's the power of technology.
That is incredible. What's the data point? Like, how do you know? What is it? Is it just like a number? Like, oh, that's a 35, or oh, that's a 40.
Yeah. So it goes from the gyroscope that's on it actually, and so it measures in like meters per second.
Wow.
And so it's that intensity. It actually goes through an algorithm that they made on the catapult staff. Like they came up with an algorithm to measure it. So
Coach, how much does that information?
Hey, Chaz, that's gyroscope.
Yeah. How
Not
much?
Kaleidoscope.
So those are different. Those are good. Noted. Good to know.
Those are different.
Good to know. How much does that play into your decision making, Coach Rolo, on how much you play a guy, where you play a guy, how much you may rest a guy, how much you say another guy needs to play harder, or I don't know. Is there such a thing in practice as saying, "Hey, back it down a little bit"? What are you using this data for?
We're seeing not a terrible amount at the line of scrimmage for their workload, but for instance, a guy like Strib, who as an outside receiver would probably have more. The outside receivers probably have more yardage per practice than the slots. Rich, would that be true? Correct.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and also his presence on special teams really kind of gives you a good idea of let's get Strib. We don't need to throw 9 routes right now. Let's maybe just catch some balls standing, or trying to take some more load off, and giving guys like Zion Nunnally and Grover and those guys, giving them some of those reps to keep him fresh, because he's proven to be a real valuable asset in multiple ways for our football team.
So you can kind of see how his dribblings run this much. That's a lot more than some other guys, or let's back it down a little bit. Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
And Rich, this is real time stuff. He's at the command center during practice and monitoring it, and it's a really, really useful tool.
That's what you were doing up there.
You're talking about health and safety for these guys.
Did you go up there because I saw you up there. I was wondering what that was. So it looks like a laptop. So it looks like an office almost on a table outside. You set up there, and so you're up there looking at real-time data, and you're looking for what? Hey, is this guy out? Is this out of whack, or is that out of whack? What are you looking for?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So pretty much I'm looking at is today's practice deviating a ton from previous practices. So is our Tuesday this week way out of whack compared to Tuesday last week, and what's going on there, kind of what are we seeing out there? So that's pretty much what I'm looking at the whole time.
Gosh, is this the future of football practice? Is this the data analytics of that's into baseball? It's getting into basketball. Kyle Smith's very public about his data analytics and hoops. Is this the football version of that? Is what it is, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
In a certain way with their health, I think it's you get the like Rich said, you can judge Tuesday to Tuesday. But then you can kind of see the flow of the week with game day, and today's not a real heavy day for us, so there's some recovery, and I think it just gives you data where you can question if there's a way to do things better. That's better for these guys health-wise.
Do you ever get surprised by the data? Does the data ever are your eyes ever fooled, and then the data confirms something that maybe you didn't think to be the case?
Definitely. I mean, there's kind of different wrinkles in practice, kind of like Coach Rolo talked about, especially with guys on special teams and things like that. That adds a dimension you're not really thinking about. Like a guy like Shaw, he's flying around on special teams. This past game, his high-speed numbers were crazy.
Like what are we talking? Do you remember off your head?
I mean, he hit 20 miles an hour. He's a 20 miles an hour guy, but like his high-speed total yards that he had was one of the highest I've seen so far. And it was, defense wasn't giving up a ton of big plays, anything like that. They're not chasing a bunch of stuff down. So I was kind of like, where did that come from? And then special teams, things like that. So, yeah.
So you can tell, based on Shaw's data after the fact, that he was particularly active or aggressive on special teams.
What you can tell is it's a high level of effort.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Sure.
That's and it takes all that judgment of how their legs, maybe we need to back off. Now you've got some real data to base it off of, and I think this is just going to get better and better each year because you can. This is the first season we've had it. We went through the spring. I thought, and Rich, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought there was some value in the summer. It helped the element of competition. And I think Dwayne does a great job with getting, all right, this is the 20-mile-an-hour guys, or this is the high-speed-of-the-day guy, and it fosters some competition. But when you're talking about game week and in season, I think it's all kind of based on health and like a guy like Shaw, when he's on the field, he's playing hard and he's working hard for his teammates.
Gosh, because there's data to back it up. Is this common? Do a lot of teams use this technology?
Oh, yeah. It's getting way more commonplace now. You see it. I think probably every single NFL team almost has it. A certain system. It might not just be Catapult, but a ton of college teams are starting to adopt it. There's a lot more lower price options that teams are looking at. That gives you, the same
sports,
idea.
Right,
yeah.
Rich?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Basketball, soccer. I'm not too sure if baseball uses it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Yeah, it's kind of that's where the field of strength conditioning is kind of headed toward as well.
Fascinating. That's really, really cool. Thank you, Rich. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Rich, what's your dog's name again?
Bogey.
Bogey.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
We
got to ask that question every week.
Talk Bogey. Sure. We could put the catapult on Bobby throughout practice too, right? To see how the effort is.
We got to know if we got to shut him down from a high workload.
It's too much, right?
He just does too much.
Yeah. What do you think, Coach?
No, I think Rich would get think he'd have a broken catapult. The gyroscope might be broken.
I can't compute this.
There out of Bobby.
Not enough, insufficient effort. This has shut down the whole system. It's not good anymore. Hey, Coach, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it.
Chaz.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks. It's a new tradition. This is the Rich Garaccio segment here at Tempo's Talking Ball. Talking Ball. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Rich. We've got the big guys up next, Liam Ryan and Maake Pavilion. Thank you, Coach. Thanks, Coach.
You may be eager to break ground on a new outdoor project, but never just start digging. Buried electric and natural gas lines can be anywhere. It's the law to call 811 at least 2 business days before you dig. Spray paint white lines showing your dig zone, and a crew will mark the utility lines. Mark accuracy zone is within 2 feet of the mark, so always hand dig to expose the line first. Call 811 before you dig. The service is free for residential customers. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
This Cougar football tailgating moment is brought to you by Canoe Ridge Vineyards, proud partner of Washington State University Athletics. For this week's football matchup against Oregon State, smart Cougar tailgaters know to pair award-winning Canoe Ridge wines with a crowd-pleasing pregame meal. Your mealtime roster will score big points with Canoe Ridge wines backing it up. Canoe Ridge Vineyards, representing the best of award-winning Washington wines with more than 73 critical scores of 90-plus points. Come visit us in our Walla Walla tasting room or at canoeridgevineyard.com. Go Cougs!
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
We at Boeing are excited to celebrate with the fans and community at the annual Boeing Apple Cup Series. Get ready to experience the sights and sounds of a classic rivalry in person again. So whether you're cheering for the Huskies or the Cougars, Boeing sees the whole state of Washington as one united team because we go further together. Boeing, proud to sponsor the Boeing Apple Cup Series and support our employees across Washington.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums to major centers throughout the West with over 60 daily departures to 21 nonstop destinations served by Alaska, Allegiant, American, Delta, Frontier, Southwest, and United Airlines. Real-time arrival and departure flight information is available at www.spokaneairports.net. Spokane International Airport, when it's time to fly.
You're listening to the U.S. Bank Cougar Coaches Show. On the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Here's the voice of the Cougars, Matt Chazanow.
We're here live with a couple of the big guys up front, Liam Ryan and Maake Fafita. We just talked with Coach Rolovich, Rich Carrasio, assistant strength coach here for the Cougars. Guys, thanks for doing this. Thanks for throwing the headset on. This will be really, really fun. We were just talking off air. Let's get right into it. Maake, you're from a football family. Your brother played at Air Force, Mosese, and the Cougs played against him. We don't need to get into the game and go into any poor memories here in the Cheez-It Bowl, although it was a really tight game and one the Cougs were right down to the stretch there. But your brother, what's it like growing up playing ball with your brother? What's your football relationship like with Mosese?
It's really great. Always playing football in the backyard, and I didn't actually get a chance to play with him in high school, because he's a few years ahead of me. But I have another brother who's in between us, and I got the chance to play against him in high school. I would be playing scout D-end, and he'd be offensive tackle, and we'd go at it every day.
Help me out now. Is he also playing college ball?
He is not.
He's not. Okay, so I was going to say, I didn't think I missed one. I knew we had Mosese, and we have Maake, and a couple of very accomplished offensive linemen. Mosese defensive linemen. Yes. The first defensive lineman, the first Air Force football player to ever be north of 300 pounds, to ever be allowed to be north of 300 pounds. That's the rule. That's the cutoff. So basically, your brother's the biggest Air Force Falcon ever, in a literal sense. He was the biggest guy. How did that happen? Did he, request a waiver, or did he know, or how did that go? And were you even aware of that?
Yeah, I was aware of it. And as far as I remember in the stories that he would tell me about of that whole situation was when he first got to the academy, and they had a lot of, physical testing, see how well their bodies can do in different things, strength, speed, stamina, and whatnot. And so I guess he did all the tests. He was overweight of their limit, and he passed all of the tests, and so they weren't worried about his condition.
Got it. So even though he was over that threshold, he qualified for all of their standards. So they said, "Well, yeah, pretty good football player. We'll figure it out. All right, we're here with Liam Ryan now, also as well as Maake Fafita. Liam, let's go back in time a little bit. You've been playing a lot of ball here for the Cougs, but I want to go back in time a little bit. You're a two-sport athlete.
Yep.
You played a lot of basketball. Mm-hmm. Who did you play basketball with? And I'm actually, I know the answer to this, but I'm actually more interested in one of the Cougs you played basketball with a little bit. Oh, you're a little confused? We'll talk about it. All right. So who did you play basketball with growing up?
Well, I'm from Chino Hills.
Right. Okay.
So I grew up with the Ball brothers.
So Lonzo,
LeAngelo, and LaMelo.
What was that like?
By the way, I lived right down the street from them. I grew up with Lonzo. We played basketball.
Like on the street? Like there was a hoop on the street?
Yeah, they lived right up over the hill, and then I lived kind of on the bottom. And, they would run the hill. They would have their dad, LeVar, would just have them run the hill behind my house. It's like I live right by a state park, so they were running up and down the hill, and then they would see us all down there because we grew up. I think we went to kindergarten through 8th grade, and then I wanted to play basketball and football, so I ended up going to Damien, and which is a private Catholic school. I'm Catholic, so it kind of all worked out for me. And then they were in our league, so we played them 2 times a year. And then we get to the playoffs, and we were both really good teams. So I don't think we ever played them in the playoffs, but I don't know what Coug player you're talking about.
Well, we talked about 2 of them, actually. One of them for 1 year, LeVar Ball. He was a Coug for 1 year. Did you also play with Milan Aqua?
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah,
so Milan,
I played against him in, I think it was the game before the state championship. We played their team, Cathedral. And that's where Renard, Jameer,
Champ Flemings.
Yeah, all of them went to high school. And
wait, did Renard play basketball?
No.
was going to say, you would have played against Renard
Yeah.
for a year or two or something like that.
Yeah, so I kind of knew my role playing basketball.
What was that? Point guard?
Set screens, rebounds, do all the dirty work, make my free throws when I get hacked. So, but no, I kind of knew my role, and I just enjoyed it because just like football, it was a fast-paced sport. I kind of quit baseball right before high school, and my body started gaining a lot of weight, so I knew I wasn't going to be a baseball player or a basketball player by the time I hit my junior year. So,
Maake, did you play basketball at all?
Yeah, I did. I played basketball all the way through my first 2 years of high school.
Yeah. So, are there any offensive lineman hoops games? You guys ever hoop it up at all anymore?
No.
Just a quick no. Just nope. Just not doing it.
Anything cardio outside of football is probably not what we're doing. So, I think our biggest thing that we like to do is eat. So we like to go out and eat.
Spoken like a couple of true online Maake's nodding. Yes.
So, whether it's getting dessert or going out to eat at B-dubs and just try to be around each other.
Hey, attention student gamers. So listen up. I don't know if this might be you guys. The $150,000 Level Next Madden National Championships back, sponsored by Unilever, supporting Feeding America with 1 million meals this fall. Registration closes October 11th. So be sure to sign up now at levelnextesports.com. Are you guys Madden gamers?
I am not.
Maake?
No.
I like playing sports games. I like playing anything that's related to sports. But this past year, I've given all my video games to other people.
You've grown up. Yeah. You've matured out of it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're now in your your old age.
23, about to be 24.
Yeah, elder statesman. Why would you? What made you? What spurred that on?
Just
hitting the books. Extra?
No.
Oh,
no.
All right. Okay.
I did my time. My mom always. I'm getting another degree, trying to get another degree, and
congratulations.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so, the books are it's mainly just focused on football and
eating.
Yeah, eating and staying in shape and trying to lead my group as best as I can. So
I love it. That's awesome. Well, we're up against a break. We need to take it. We're here with Maake Fifita and Liam Ryan. We're live here at Zeppo's talking ball before the game against the Beavers.
No matter how fast you are, you can't outrun your past. Don't miss Vin Diesel and John Cena in F9, The Fast Saga, now available at Redbox. The next chapter in the high-octane Fast and Furious franchise finds Dom Toretto living a quiet life off the grid, but knows danger always lurks just over the peaceful horizon. This time, that threat forces him to take his team on a worldwide ride with high-stakes action, old friends, and a surprising new foe, Dom's forsaken brother, Jacob. Watch F9, The Fast Saga, and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
Hey, Kook fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Cougar football from Learfield.
Well, break a tackle up the field to the 40. He could break it 30. Here he goes 20. He's going all the way. Touchdown, Washington State. This place is unhinged. Listen to that crowd.
This fall, Northern Quest will bring you Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer. Real sports wagering in an exciting environment where you'll be able to bet, watch, and win like never before. Here's how to get ready. Practice sitting on the edge of your seat. Invest in a good blood pressure cuff. Okay. And remove any non-essential wallet clutter. Turf Club Sportsbook, the ultimate game changer. Coming this fall to Northern Quest.
Right now, the gap between what you should save and what you can save has never felt bigger. The U.S. Bank mobile app can help by finding ways to help you reach your savings goals with personalized insights that fit your real life to make your financial goals feel within reach. Because even our tools are smart enough to put people first. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
That to-do list you have.
Back at it live here at Zeppo's, talking ball with a couple of the big guys up front. We've got Liam Ryan. We've got Maake Fafita. We're getting set for the game against the Oregon State Beavers coming here on the Palouse. It's going to be one of these signature, beautiful fall days here on the Palouse here in October. Maake, Liam has been a Coug for a while now. He's one of the leaders on this team. How much does the line and does the team, I'm going to put you on the spot here because he's right next to you, how much do they follow Liam's lead, his mentality, his leadership? How integral is that to the offensive line group and what you guys are trying to do?
I think it's really important. I think we all look up to Liam and, of course, Abe, too. Both of them are very good offensive linemen, and they really bring a strong power to that, and they show the way that they lead by example, and they come up, I guess all riled up before practice, give us a few words and say, let's go, let's do this.
Has Liam ever challenged you? Has he ever gotten in your face mask there and told you a couple words, a couple friendly words maybe?
Yeah, nothing too aggressive. I think,
Liam's smiling right now.
Yeah, I mean, after any play, if I make a mistake or something, I know Liam's behind me watching, seeing those coaching points that he can come up to me afterward and say, hey, you can fix this, take your steps right, think about the coaching points that coach is always telling us about, and trust what we've been taught to make that happen.
Liam, when Andre Dillard left, I know he's a good buddy of yours, you kind of had almost like a ceremonial passing of the cleats. It looked like he had a pair of his cleats he handed you. Offensive line culture and team culture takes time. You need validation through success. You need wins. You need practice to translate to games. So it takes a lot of time to get there. When did it happen for you? And even before Andre, I mean, you had Cody O'Connell and you had Cole Madison, and going back 5, 6, 7 years now, before you got here, this is when this started, and now you're trying to keep good going, right? When did you get pulled into it, and when did it really become a culture with momentum?
Yeah, I mean, it all started when Clay McGuire was here. Now he's at USC. I got to talk with him a little bit after the game, but I thanked him and I appreciated him for giving me the opportunity to come here. And I mean, who would ever thought as a kid to play Pac-12 football, end up being a captain for the team, 3-4 year starter. It just doesn't cross your mind when you're thinking that young. But no, I mean, it started when I first came in. I didn't get to meet Joe or Gunnar Eklund. That's who they said I looked like. That's why they changed my number. So, I mean, I played like him, and so they changed my number then. They were both two great offensive linemen. And then, getting to be with Cody, Cole, Andre, Eduardo Middleton, Riley Sorensen, those were the 5 guys that were like, those dudes are legit. Like, how can I be like them? And so I kind of just followed their footsteps. And then as I started growing up, spots started opening. And, I mean, me and Josh had a battle between left guard for the longest time. And then Josh ended up kicking over to the right side. And me and Josh were roommates. So that was an awkward situation.
Was it?
Yeah.
Josh Watson? You're talking about Josh Watson, right? Yeah.
And so that was an awkward situation to be in. But at the end of the day, it all started working out. And then it was kind of more of I started learning technique and how to watch film and how to do all these little things as an offensive lineman, because it's not about how fast you are, how physical you are. I mean, it is about how physical you are, but it's a controlled violence. But it's all these little techniques, and if this foot moves this way 5 inches, then this one has to move 5 inches, and it's like little things. If their hand placement's here and this foot's back, they're probably going to go here, and just all these little alignments and safeties coming down. There's so much things that come into it that I don't think people realize.
No, they have no idea. People don't know. I mean, unless you've played.
Exactly.
They're not even close. I was trying to get into this a little bit. I'm not trying to cut you off.
No, yeah.
I was trying to get into a little bit with Armani Marsh and Daniel Isom about seeing the ball when they're in sequence is what they called it when they're in coverage. And, it's one of those plays that looks kind of like if you get if you get beat.
Yep.
It looks easy, because you don't know what's what. Just someone's eating French fries and watching the game, right? Like Tulane Houston's on right now, and see someone get beat. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and so I think DB and offensive line is very similar. You have to backpedal, you have to stop somebody from where they're going, and you have to read several different people. They have to read the quarterback. We have to read our ID, where we're going to. And then they do a lot of games, so we have to all twist it off and be on the same page. So there's a lot of that goes into it, and like when we're watching, like to the average person's eye of watching a football game, yeah, they're watching wherever the ball goes. And my first thing is, okay, it starts at the offensive line. How much push did they have? Which holes opened up? Okay, this happened because of this. So there's a lot of things that go into it, and that's our job, is to be technical, and there's a lot of technique that goes into it and different things that you can do. So, but yeah, it's definitely mental and physically taxing. But I love being a little. We call it the sacrificial lamb. That's what me and Abe call it. We call it being sacrificial lambs, and putting the team before us. And I think that's what it is to be an offensive lineman.
That's that stereotypical offensive line mentality. Make, when you watch a game, like if you get time on a Sunday or Saturday, if you're watching another game, are you just watching the line? Like, you don't watch football. Like, what's so funny? What do you think?
He doesn't really watch.
You don't watch much football. You're footballed out.
Yeah. Coach Weber got on him this week. He's like, "Monkey, how much football you watch outside of football?" And he was like, and he's like, "That's your homework. You got to go watch a football game." So that's why we kind of chuckled.
That's pretty funny. So, what football do you watch? Is it no football?
I mean, if there's a game on, I'll watch it. I mean, I'll watch our opponents for sure, but
right.
I mean, yeah, whenever I do watch football, I tend to watch the offensive line, see how they're doing, see their technique, especially if it's the pros, see how they do it. Pick up on those maybe smaller techniques or smaller points that they know how to do a little bit better than I do. I can maybe pick up on.
Have you guys found in general that people who are football fans grew up watching tons of football, but players were busy being athletic? You're too busy to watch. So did you grow up, Make, not so much as a football fan, more just as someone who was super active and you and your brothers in the backyard kind of thing, as opposed to watching a lot?
Yeah, I could say that, yeah. Played a lot more than watching, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, there's this stereotype of some guys aren't historians of the game. Well, they're kind of busy. They're kind of busy, and I guess in a contemporary sense, it's easy to know. But there are many great Cougar linemen, but it's probably hard if you guys are always you're lifting, and there's not as much time in the day to watch as fans, I would say.
Yeah, I think as a big part is growing up, you're not really thinking of being an offensive lineman. I think my favorite player ever was Peyton Manning, and it's tough to have. I mean, now you got kids playing Pop Warner, and you're telling this kid to go block somebody, and it's like they don't want to do that. They just want to catch the ball and go score something. And
sure,
that's always my mindset was. So it's definitely tough, being an offensive lineman and not knowing what your role is. I think knowing your role as an offensive lineman, you know what you're getting yourself into, and the sacrifices that it takes.
We're up against it. We're going to take our final break. We'll come back. We're talking ball here with Liam Ryan and Maake Fafita live from Zeppos.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums to 21 nonstop destinations provided by 7 major airlines. Nonstop service is available to Atlanta, Boise, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Everett, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Oakland, Orange County, Phoenix, Portland, Sacramento, Salt Lake City, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle. And starting November 22nd, Phoenix Mesa. For real-time flight arrival and departure information, go to SpokaneAirports.net.
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
If a buried natural gas pipeline is leaking outside your home, you may see dead vegetation, hear a hissing noise, or smell it. Because Avista adds a rotten egg scent that's easily detectable. If so, get far away and call 911 and Avista. And if you ever smell a natural gas leak indoors, get everyone outside fast. Don't flip light switches, use a cell phone, or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe, like a neighbor's house, then call 911 and Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Interact with the show. Tweet your questions for Coach to Matt Chazanow using the handle @M_Chaz. That's M_CHAZ. Live from Zeppo's with Coach Rolovich. Here's Matt Chazanow.
Back at it live here. We've just got about 60 seconds. We'll hear the fight song in just a moment. Maake Fafita and Liam Ryan, thank you guys for doing this. Before the fight song kicks on, you got yourself an LA Dodger face mask here. What do you make of that? What's the prediction here for the series?
I think it'll go Game 5. Both teams are really well. But
what does Bill Stevens think is going to happen?
You already know it. It's me, Coach Smitty, and Bobby that are holding it down versus Coach Ferrigno and
Coach Rolo
and Bill. So, no, I got my Dodgers, and they want to be us. And look at 2020. Look, everyone says it's half a season and all that, but if the Giants were there, they would be like, "Oh, we won it." But it's a hard season. I mean, look at COVID season. It's tough.
Fist pounds. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Maake Fafita, Liam Ryan, thank you guys for doing this. Jared Prengruber gets us on. He's there. Jared Kylo's getting us on the air. Jared Prengruber is behind the camera there. We've got DJ Johnny Beats with all of the spirit and rhythm here at Zeppo's. Luke Hallett back in the US Bank Network studios. Thanks, guys. Go Cougs.
You can't outrun your past. Don't miss Vin Diesel and John Cena in F9, The Fast Saga. Now available at Redbox. The next chapter in the high octane